You've already mentioned one of the books you chose last time we spoke to you,
Oh,
which was the
have I?
Divergent series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But have you got any more books that have changed your life that you would like to share with people?
So I'm going to cheat a little bit and say it's a genre that's
Okay.
changed my life. So around July last year, I picked up the first queer novel that I've ever read. Now, as a queer woman, that's probably a bit weird, but like, every time I would go into Waterstones or wherever, I'd be faced with a slew of straight young adult books. So that's what I read, and I didn't think anything of it. And so that's also what I wrote. And it just so happened that I picked up a queer fake dating book, and this was Hanny and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating. And it was the first time I had ever read about two queer women. And it was like, oh my God, like they need to get together. And I like felt all the things, and I felt so much emotion. And I was like, whoa, like I really enjoyed that. And like, it's a good book, but it's not the best book in the world. It was a solid story, and I enjoyed reading it, but I enjoyed reading it way more than I should have enjoyed reading it for sort of kind of the standard of the book. And I was like, what is that? So I picked up another queer book, and I can't remember what that one was. I think it was by Tess Sharp, the Girls I've Been. And then I picked up another book. And then I read Some Girls Do by Jennifer Duggan. And it was after reading that one that I was like, oh, I see now. The connection is the fact that all these characters and all these protagonists are gay. And I was like, oh. And so now I have been consuming queer fiction, and it was a real like come to Jesus moment where I was like, oh my God. And now I can't unknow it, right? I can't unknow the fact that there are queer books out there, and that I like reading them more than I like reading straight books. And so, yeah, now for me, like that has changed everything. So I spent like the last 6-7 months finishing off the series, which is kind of behind me. And now I'm moving into writing sapphic fiction for teens. And yeah, like that has literally changed the course of my career, because I can't knowingly write straight books anymore, at least not for a while anyway. Maybe I'll go back to it, but
That's so cool. I love that that it's just sparked a complete change in direction by discovering these books.
yeah, like literally I was like, this must be what everyone feels when they read about relationships in books. Like, and I love romance. So like, and I would ship the characters still, like in a straight romance. It's not, but like, it's a totally different feeling when you see your love in a book. It has literally changed my life. Like I feel so much stronger about fiction now than I have done in ages. And like, it's almost like I've fallen in love with reading again,
That's
which
so
is,
cool.
yeah. So
Didn't you mention in the episode we talked about earlier about you looked into how many queer YA books there were or something, and there really wasn't very many?
yeah. So queer young adult books, when I did my research about 6 to 8 weeks ago, there were about 760, I think it was, books in queer young adult. And of those, at the time, it was about 150 that were sapphic. Now I think it's over 200, because there's a lot of books coming out now all the time. Even still, like 150, 160 out of 760, it shows you like how tiny this market is. So yeah, like it's a very, very small market, and I think it's going to be a really hard sell. But I don't care.
But I think there is demand for it, because I've spoken to a lot of people who've been like, I don't connect to straight romance in the same way that I do queer romance. Where's the queer romance at? And they just don't even know how to find it.
Yeah. So my plan is to basically clear my decks of work and then write hard and fast for the rest of this year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You've been recommending some queer fiction on your Instagram as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so I missed last week because it was my birthday, and my wife randomly flew my dad over from the Netherlands as a big surprise. So yeah, I like lost all of Friday, but that's fine. So yeah, every Friday I will release like a little slideshow of like, I don't know what I've done, like maybe can't actually remember what I've done, but I'll do it like by trope, or I'll do, fantasy books I want to read. And they're all queer and they're all sapphic. And the other thing that I've done is I've actually collated the list of 150 books, although I've just found another list. So I've also brought a load more books. So I need to compile it again. And I think next month, maybe, what is it? We're in March, April or May, I'm going to start releasing it as a reader magnet. So if people are looking for recommendations, like follow me on Instagram. And then in a month or so's time, I will announce that I'm like, I'm going to share this leaflet basically. So I basically want to have the biggest list of queer books for teens, or like mostly sapphic books, I would say. I haven't really got like gay or trans books on them. A couple of trans books are on there, but because it's so hard, it was so bloody hard to find these books. So I'm like, well, I'll share that, and I will, but you got to sign up to my mailing list. Yeah.
Where can our listeners go if they want to check you out on Instagram or anywhere else?
Okay, so you can follow my podcast just using any podcatcher, and it's the Rebel Author Podcast. I am most active on Instagram, which is at Sacha Black Author, and it's Sacha with a C, so SACHA, or my website, sachablack.co.uk.